Thank you so much for joining us tonight. So to get started, I'd like you to think about and write down about 2 to 3 things that you're already doing at home to support your children with literacy. So for example, something we do here at my house is we read with our daughter before bed. One of us might go in there or both, and we can either read the book with her or um, we might be reading our own book while she's reading because she's 9 now. So I'm going to give you just about 2 minutes to think about things, like I said, that you are already doing at home to support your children with literacy. All right, so if you have some things in mind, you can either unmute yourself and share out to the whole group, or would you write it in the chat if you don't want to share it out loud? Okay, since nobody's sharing, we're going to go on. And please, like Anya said, if you think of something or you decide that you want to share, you can unmute yourself and share, or like I said, you can type in the chat. Tonight, we are going to focus on literacy for children in grades pre-K through second. And we're going to talk about what literacy is. We're going to explore a few ideas that you can use to make reading fun. And then we're also going to I'm going to share some ideas on how you can help at home. So, what is literacy? Literacy is reading, writing, listening, and speaking. So a lot of times when we think about literacy, we think of just reading or just writing, but before we can learn to read or write, we must understand. Literacy starts with speaking and listening, building that vocabulary, words that we don't know and figuring out what those mean, and knowledge about our world around us and being able to understand what people are saying. One of the very most important things you can do every day is to spend time talking to and with your child. A few suggestions on talking to your child are to speak your native home language at home. Bilingual children have a huge advantage in life, so keeping that language alive. Eating meals together. There's tons of studies that show that children are more successful when they eat meals together with their family. And it's not necessarily for the food, but just more for the time that you spend together talking and listening. Also, asking your child about their day, asking them if something made them laugh, made them sad, made them scared, what was their favorite part of the day. You're going to get way better answers to those questions than if you just ask, how was your day today? Or what did you do today? So really being more specific helps them tell you more about their day and get them talking. Another thing that I always like to add there is, this is something that I am always working on, is when I ask my daughter those questions, I really try to focus and listen to what she is answering, because we're so busy all the time doing other things that we don't always give our full attention. So making sure when we ask those kinds of questions that we're really focusing and listening and doing follow-up questions if or when they answer them. One other thing is playing games together. So board games, card games, I Spy, all of those are really great ways to work on our listening and speaking, which leads to building their vocabulary and knowledge of the world. On the screen here, you can see a little chart that shows how important it is to read for at least 20 minutes every day. So on the slide, it has student A. If student A reads for 20 minutes every day, that equals 3,600 minutes per school year and almost 2 million words per year. And studies have shown that students who read at least 20 minutes a day score usually in the 90th percentile on standardized tests that they take at school. And then if student B reads 5 minutes per day, they're going to learn 900 minutes per they'll read 900 minutes per school year, which equals 282,000 words, 1,000 words per year. So you can see a big difference just between 15 minutes in one day. And studies have found that those students score in about the 50th percentile on standardized tests. And then we have student C there that is just reading about 1 minute per day. They're learning about 180 minutes per school year, which equals 8,000 words per year. And those students, based on studies, score about in the 10th percentile on standardized tests. And then at the bottom there, I know it's kind of small and hard to see, but if they start reading for 20 minutes per night in kindergarten, by the end of 6th grade, student A will have read the equivalent of 60 school days, equal to 60 school days. And student B will have read for 12 school days. Student C will have read for only 3. So you can see that just 20 minutes a day makes a huge, huge difference. And you can only imagine how much of a difference it would make if they're reading more than 20 minutes per day. So again, just really focusing on at least 20 minutes per day. And one important thing that you can do to help your student if they're younger and even as they get older is to read aloud to them, to reading out loud. And making sure that you're reading out loud and offering books that are both fiction and nonfiction. And when you begin to read aloud to your children, they can really see the fluency with these two different types of texts. So when you're reading fiction, it's a lot of dialogue and things like that, and the way we speak. When you're reading aloud nonfiction, those are things about, say you were reading about ants or mountains or things like that. Your fluency, how you read, your children will really see the difference between the two. And it's really important that you're doing both kinds of texts. I struggled to get my daughter to read nonfiction. She really just wants to focus on fiction, but we really want them doing about half and half fiction and half nonfiction. Also, when you're reading aloud or reading with your children, it gives you something to talk about. So you can be talking about the book or the characters or the subject. Like I said, if you were reading about ants, you could really be talking about ants and go find some ants in your yard, things like that. Also, it lets you be a role model. So your children are always watching what you're doing. And when they see you get excited about reading, that they'll be excited about reading too. Okay, so I'm going to share some different things that you can do at home to make reading fun. So the first thing you can do is repeat the book. So repeated readings of the same book really help our children become better readers. I know that especially when they're younger, they want you to read the same book over and over and over. And it gets kind of boring to you. But the more we repeat those books, the more that builds their fluency and being able to recognize the words and read the book on their own. And sometimes when you read a book a lot, especially when they're pre-K, kindergarten age, they'll start to memorize the book and think that they are reading the book. And that's really what we want. Those are the first steps, is being able to recognize those words, and then they'll connect the words with the ones that they've memorized and sounds and letters and all of that. So if your child is having you repeat the same book over and over, that's a good thing. And for you, you can change it up each time. You can use different voices. What I used to like to do is I used to read and I would leave words out just to see if she was paying attention. And she would get so mad. Oh no, Mom, it doesn't say that. But that helped me so that I wasn't, so bored with the same book over and over and over again. Also talking about the characters in the book, how they're feeling, how that might make you feel, what you think might happen next. All of those things really keep them engaged in the book and making it fun. The next thing, like I just said, is engage and enjoy. And I mentioned this up above, acting really silly makes reading really fun and makes it a good experience for everyone. Using funny voices, changing the story, acting it out, that those are all really fun ways that you can make the same book fun, or even if it's a new book, making that fun. And A is ask questions. So asking lots and lots of different questions before, during, and after you read. Again, that really helps everyone stay engaged in the book and it makes it more fun. So before you read, you're going to ask things like, what do you see here on the front cover? What do you think is going to happen? Why is this here? And then once you start reading, asking those questions again, oh, we thought that this book was going to be about blah, blah, blah. Oh, and is that what is happening? Do you want to change your prediction, what you thought was going to happen? Things like that. And then after you're finished with the book, asking the similar questions, just checking to see if they understood what they read and understood maybe what you read if you were reading it out loud. And the last one, the D, to spell out read, is to do more with the book. If you are reading about animals, you could go and visit the zoo. You could do that in person or virtually. There are so many things online right now that you can do to visit a zoo virtually if you wanted to. If you're reading about airplanes, you could visit an airport or look them up online, make paper airplanes. Just again, making it more fun for them to be engaged with the book or the text that you're reading. You want to make the book come alive. That's when learning really starts to take place. Making it fun and making it relatable about something that they can see and find in their environment. What you see here are the important parts of reading instruction. We have phonemic awareness, vocabulary, phonics and word study, fluency, and comprehension. So all of these parts together are what teachers do in the classroom to teach children how to read. So phonemic awareness there in the left corner, that is about the sounds that letters make. And then on the right there, vocabulary. Vocabulary is learning new words and what they mean. On the bottom, phonics. Phonics is the sounds that letters make. So like A says A for apple. And also writing down the letter A is when it's phonics. That goes with apple, when you relate that letter with the sound and write it. And then fluency is being able to read smoothly with expression. So reading like the way we talk, not like a robot. When children are reading like that, we really want to work on their fluency, making it more smooth like we talk. And then lastly, in the middle that brings it all together is comprehension. And comprehension is being able to understand what they have read or what they have heard. We are going to do a little activity on phonemic awareness. So again, phonemic awareness is the sounds that letters make. And I wanted to share with you, this is just an example of, we call them tip sheets. And I'm going to show you towards the end of the class where you can go and find these tip sheets. They're on our website, on the Parent University website, and they're all free. You can download them and print them or just pull them up on your computer. So I wanted to put it up here because this is the activity we're going to do next is in this phonemic awareness tip sheet. And all of the sheets show a skill, and then they have 3 to 4 activities in each one that you can do at home with your children. And then there's also videos that go with each one that have families doing the activities at home. So if you read about one of the activities and you don't understand how to do it or what it should look like, you can go on and watch the videos. And like I said, it's real families doing it at home with their children. On the front there, you can see the activity called Going on a Trip. And so what you do with the going on the trip is we're going to pretend, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to pretend like we're going on a trip. And we're going to put things in the suitcase to take with us. And so this is really a really fun game that you can play at any time. And so you just think of a letter, and you want to think of as many things that start with that sound. So really focusing on the sounds of the letters, especially when children are younger. We're not worried. So for example, if we were thinking of the k sound like you hear in cat and they say kite, that still works because it's the sound. We're not worried that one is a C, one is a K. We're just worried about the sound, focusing on the sound first with phonemic awareness. Once we turn it into the letter that it goes with and writing it down, that's when it turns into phonics. So again, we're just working on phonemic awareness first. So let's think about some things that start with O, the O sound. So we want to think of as many things as we can. And a fun game that you can play with that goes with this is you can have each person in your family take turns. And then whoever thinks of the most words that start with the O sound, they win. And then you move on to another letter and you can have them pick that, whatever letter comes next. One thing I want to point out is if your child makes a mistake, you can just say the sound again and say, so for example, if it's ul and we say light, and then your child says car, you can say, does that start with ul, like light, ul, car? And they'll be able to hear the difference in the sounds so that they can think of something else that starts with ooh, just really focusing on that sound. So if you would go ahead and unmute yourselves and tell us something you can think of that starts with the ooh sound. Like. Perfect. How about one more? Love. Very good. Okay, so you could see that this game could go on and on and on. And again, so making it really fun. Once your children have got the hang of that, and if they're ready, they could move on to taking it to writing them down. And again, that would be taking it to phonics. So they could start writing down as many as they can on a piece of paper, and then you could all compare. I can't think of the game it is, I think, but when you compare, if you have the same ones, you have to cross them off. So you want to think of it as many as you can that won't start with the same letter or the same sound as someone else. So you won't have to cross yours out. Lots of fun ways. This is another thing that I did in the car with my daughter. It really helps time go by fast when you play games like this. All right, we're going to move on to writing. Writing is a huge part of literacy, and it's important that your child or you are writing at home every day. In order to be ready to write, you need to have all of the things available at all times so that when your child is ready to write, they have all those things available. And it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. Really, you can look for things, opportunities that have free stuff. Obviously not right now. We're not going to any events because of COVID. But when there are events, a lot of times people are giving away pens or pencils or little notepads. So those are always great places to get some of those little things that you can have available for writing. You can also go like to the dollar store and get lots of fun things that your children can write with. If they have a favorite pen, have some pens available, some different types of paper they can write on. It doesn't have to be fancy. It can even be like the back of a receipt or an envelope that you got in the mail that you were going to throw away. They can write on that. Having different types of pencils, having some stickers available. Stickers are always fun to put at the top of a piece of paper and write about. That's a really easy way to get them writing. Or you can draw a picture, or they can draw a picture and start writing. Um, they can, and so thinking about things they can write about, they can write in a, and make it like a journal where they're writing about, they can be writing about their day, or writing about a vacation that they would like to go to, or a place they would like to go to. They can write letters to family members or to friends. That's something that you could do right now that would be really neat, especially because a lot of us aren't able to see our family members like we were. So you can write letters back and forth. And that's really fun for us all to get in the mail. That's kind of a lost thing now. We don't get as many things in the mail, handwritten things. Um, they can write stories that they've made up. My daughter likes to make little lists of things. So she makes lists of her toys, or makes lists of facts. Texts, even though it's on the phone, it's still writing. Same with emails. They can write about the books that they're reading or have read. Lots and lots of different things to write about. Just making sure that they are writing every day, even just a little bit. And so remember that you are your child's first and most important teacher. Make sure they see you reading, writing, and then that you're speaking and listening. Then you're not only telling them it's important, but you're also showing them how important it is. Now I want to show, I'm going to go onto our Parent University website, and I'd like to show you some different things. Before I do that, would anybody like to share anything out? All right. Okay, so this that you see on your screen right now is the Washoe County School District website. This is the main page. And so I'm going to show you how to get to the Parent University page from here. You'll go to up here to Departments and click on that. And then you scroll all the way down to P for Parent University. And then when you get here onto the Parent University, if you have not already, please take the family survey that is a survey that will be shown to our Board of Trustees, and let us know what you think about the Washoe County School District reopening. That's really important that we get all of our families' voices. And then over here on the side, you can see there's some learning resources for families. I'm going to click on that. This page has all kinds of different resources. I'm just going to quickly kind of scroll through them. So we have some on adult education. There are some community resources here. Here's some family support resources, financial aid and scholarships, which if your children are still in pre-K through second, they're not quite ready for a scholarship yet, but just so you know, they're here. Here's some different things like the Discovery Museum, KNPB, the Parent Toolkit, and then we're going to look at a video from the Washoe County Library System in a minute that shows all the amazing resources. All of these right here have a ton of amazing resources. Here are some other literacy resources that you can access. These are all free resources, and Khan Academy here is also a math resource that's really amazing. Here's some math resources. Here's about the standards, online textbook help, and then down here is more for older students with post-secondary resources, test prep, and then vocational and trade school. So I just wanted to point these all out because there are so many different resources on here that are really helpful. So again, that was on Parent University page, and that's the learning resources for families. I'm going to click down to the Family Learning Library right here. And here's some elementary technology learning supports too, if you want to click into that. Lots of great stuff on our website. So I'm just showing you a few different things. Here's the Family Learning Library. I'm going to click on that. So on here, you can find things about attendance, digital citizenship, which is all split up into different grade groups. So you can go on there. Some social emotional learning resources. But what I really want to highlight here is the literacy one. Under the literacy is the literacy tip sheets that I took that activity from that we just did together. And then the videos are here below. All of those are in Spanish and English, so you can access the tip sheets and the videos in English and Spanish. So I'm going to click on the literacy tip sheets, and they're all organized on here by grade level. So grades kindergarten to first, in English, and then Spanish. And then here they are, second to third. So we did the Phonemic Awareness tip sheet for second to third. And then it goes on to fourth, fifth, middle school, and high school. So we did, like I said, the Phonemic Awareness one. So I'm going to just click on that. And so when you click on it, it opens up the tip sheet. And like you saw on the slide, it tells what the skill is. And then it has a bunch of different activities. And then after the activities, if there are any things that you need to go with them, they're at the end. So this one has a thing for a bingo game. So you could print these out or you could make them yourself for the game cards. But some of them you'll need the game cards and they're free. You can just click on them and, like I said, print them out, or you could draw them too if you wanted to. Any questions or comments about any of those resources I've just showed you?
Where can we buy the game papers of the words?
The ones that are on the screen right now?
Yeah.
They're all for free. So I'll click back. You just have to go to Parent University, and then I went over to this Family Learning Library. So I'll show you one more time. The Family Learning Library, and then go down to the literacy tip sheets. And then you'll click on whichever one you want, and you can just print them out, or you can look at it and you can make it yourself if you wanted to.
Okay.
Thank you. Good question. All right, I'm going to now show you, this is a video from our Washoe County Library System that shows all of the amazing resources they have available. So I'm going to play that now. If you can't hear it or see it, will you please unmute and let me know? Okay, so so many amazing resources with the Washoe County Library. I wanted to make sure that I pointed that out and showed you the video. Again, if you don't have a library card already, like it showed on the video, you can go on and get a digital library card and then get all of the benefits of all the amazing resources there. Any questions? Comments? Okay. We are going to move on. Let's see. Oops. Sorry, just a second. Okay. Okay. So to close us out today, I want you to think of one thing that you learned about today that you are going to do with your child or that you are going to follow up on.